There were plans to try and develop it into a tree nursery, and it was just too remote from the City Parks and Rec Department to actually make that a feasible location.
This area was known as wastewater treatment plant number 2.
A couple years ago, the city approached me, particularly Brett O'Brien and Richard Perkins, wondering if they could do something in this area to restore a wetland pool. And at first, I was hesitant, I'll be honest, because this is about a 20-acre area. There was a lot of fill material, a lot of infrastructure associated with the former wastewater treatment facility.
The old pump house building was blocked up with bars, but people would break in, spray paint. It was kind of a hazard because there was empty wells for the pump equipment, and so it was always a concern that somebody might fall in and not be able to get out.
And I knew that that would be a little expensive and cost prohibitive, but 3M came to the city with some match money to do a wetland project. And it all started with 3M's match money of $40,000.
There you go. The initial thought was to create 3 distinct pools, but we were thinking more depth to the pools. We're thinking introducing fish to the site. And going through MDC and US Fish and Wildlife, they sort of steered us away from that because they said, you know, if you're trying to create an emergent wetland, you don't want to introduce fish because they will eat the species that should be in a wetland. So we tried to limit the depth, and the stormwater engineers worked really well with us on creating an average depth that was less than 2 feet.
Fish and Wildlife gave us just some basic parameters for what they wanted from the site, what they thought the wading birds would really like here that they're trying to attract to here. And then I took that, combined that with some other parameters from Parks and Recreation and then our own things, and basically came up with the layout that we have here. It's a 3-celled system, so behind me is the first cell, and then the ground just generally drops in gradient towards the south here, and so we step down into 2 more pools before the water eventually goes under the trail and into Hinkson Creek.
The primary intent of the project was to be a stormwater control project. There's 142 acres of watershed upstream on the bluff here that comes through the neighborhoods and the apartment complexes, the houses, the business parking lots, and funnels down through here. The original intent was to slow that stormwater down before it entered Hinkson Creek because Hinkson's experiencing some high levels of flooding during rainfall events. Our question mark was, can we do that and also simultaneously restore wetland habitat in the process? A good way to visualize that would be, could we make a 20-acre rain garden? The answer obviously is yes, we could.
Well, my team conducted a certified wetland determination here, and then because there's a Clean Water Act regulates wetlands within the United States, we conducted a determination, then we submitted that determination to the Corps, United States Army Corps of Engineers, on behalf of the city. They issued a nationwide 27 permit, which gives them clearance to bulldoze and do that kind of work in a bottomland situation. The other thing we did was to kind of get them jump-started. Me and my team came in here and conducted a detailed topographic survey of the entire property. It's tied to mean sea level. It's also GPS-based, so it gives you the coordinates and the whole 9 yards. We gave that to the city to use. We also gave them some conceptual ideas on how to restore this property to wetlands, and then I was asked to provide a letter of support to the city, to the Fish and Wildlife Foundation, so that they could seek a 5-star grant.
US Fish and Wildlife agreed to do a cost share, MDC worked with us, Forest Relief worked with us, and all these parts of the puzzle came together because people realized this is a really valuable project for the City of Columbia, for the environment. By 2012, the site was online and we'd actually turned it into a functioning stormwater utility. Almost immediately from when we introduced the trail and the wetlands, we saw the native species come in. Birdlife was one of the first species that came in to use the wetlands.
It's a full cycle that these wetlands provide. In a fall migration, they'll provide food in the form of seeds. In the spring migration, they're providing food in the form of invertebrates. I get excited every time I come down here because every time I do, I see something new. I'm seeing a lot of wildlife usage. I'm seeing a lot of the wetland plants starting to come in, and this is just the first year that this wetland's been established. It takes time for those wetland species to establish themselves, but I'm seeing them already. We're getting usage by the wildlife here, so that means we're getting benefit. On top of that, I've talked with the city to see, is this working for the stormwater runoff? And Tom Wellman said, yes, it has. So we've accomplished two goals. Slowing down stormwater runoff before it gets into Hinkson and providing a wildlife habitat. It's something that I think the city should be proud of.
There's always a need for more wetland habitat in the state of Missouri because we have lost so much, over the past 100 years. There's quite a bit of fish habitat in Missouri with man-made lakes and ponds. Wetland habitat is at a premium.
I just hope that as we move through, this isn't it for this site. There'll be more research done on the site, more educational learning done on the site. I just hope it keeps on getting programmed for what it can be. This project really is important to the City of Columbia and its citizens, and more importantly, the environment is the winner at the end of this project. Everything we can do to reintroduce stormwater protections, wetlands within the city perimeter, this is one of the projects that is sort of the Cadillac of that type of project.